So I just got done talking with a dude and out in zone chat, and he was like, "Holy cow! I went from level 60 to level 20. What's happening? Please help." So I was going through it with him, and he was like, "Well, actually, could you point me in the direction of any new player guides?" And I was like, "I don't know any." I told him maybe Aragon. I think Aragon did one not that long ago. But aside from that, I really don't know any. So I'm here with my friend's account, and he's pretty outdated. He's not super outdated, but he hasn't played in a while. So if he's a returning player, he's going to be like, "Holy crap, what happened? I'm behind." So, first things first, to go into tips for either a returning player, well, specifically returning player. This wouldn't apply to new players, but first things first is you're going to check your claim valuables, because odds are you have a Glory of Neverwinter pack ready and waiting for you. And this is going to give you gear, companions, companion equipment, mounts, insignias, mount collars, enchantments, artifacts, the whole gist, and legendary ones too. So it's pretty good. So we're gonna claim the pack here. It goes in your inventory. I cleaned out his inventory not too long ago, so it's not too messy. And we're just gonna, oh, that is a different pack. Right, so we're just gonna open this just to get a little view on it. Cool. So we can see here you got Healthstone, extra bag space, legendary companion, legendary mount, a artifact. You get the artifact set as well for the Zariels. Glory of Neverwinter gear, so that's a bunch of gear you can get. Epic insignias. You get an owlbear pack, epic companion. Pre-built character. Oh, that's for the level to boost you up to level 20, but this guy don't need it. And then you have some enchantment choices, including companion in combat and 3 just regular choice packs. You have a couple mount collars, artifact, insignias, another companion gear, a special mount, another mount, a companion, level 20. Oh, XP points. Yeah, so anyways, you get all that. It's a lot that you get in this pack. And the majority of accounts and people actually that haven't been playing in a while, returning players, you're almost guaranteed to have one at this point, so keep an eye out for that. Now, if you're just a brand new player, honestly, don't worry about it. First thing you want to do as a new player, or even a returning player, is go and finish off or complete your leveling adventures. So Aragon here, my friend, he hasn't completed all of these because they did add some quests. So even though he completed them back in the day, the 5 keys to success, for example, is a new quest. So he literally has 1 quest, 2 quests to do in this campaign story. And for that, he'll get 10k AD, Healthstone stuff. But as you get to the Whispering Caverns, where it's the same, he has 3 quests that he would need to do. Them being pretty quick. This takes you to Sergeant Knox, this takes you to Lord Neverember, and then this you just have a couple dialogues and that's it. Very quick to do, but for this you get rank 1 enchantment, which is 100k worth, just like that. And then you also just get a straight up 100,000 rough AD. So very important to complete these, either starting from scratch or, you know, if you have done them, but not the new quest since the Mod 21 changes. Now, the adventures, this is my opinion, but I would skip Undermountain, skip Elemental Evil. If you look at the details, honestly, the rewards kinda suck. You have a lot more quests in these, and they're a lot longer, and you pretty much more or less get kind of crappy rewards. So I would skip those, especially in this day and age. Elemental Evil, same deal. Skip these. They're not that important. Now, skipping these, you get boons for them, by the way, which honestly you can go back and get. I don't find the boons to be of particular value in this day and age of Neverwinter. Dwarven King Valley. Completing this, you get 100k. Or Dwarven King Valley. I'm thinking of Icewind Dale. No, the Dwarven King story arc. Yeah, you get 100k for that. Maze Engine, you also get 100k for that. Acquisitions Incorporated, you also get 100k for that. And then this is relatively new, but you also get 100k for that. And this is your minimum item levels as well, which honestly, if you're using the booster pack, that's no problem. However, if you get to level 20, you're not meeting these item level requirements, I have another suggestion for you, and that is called the queues. Now, in the random queue right now, it's 20k item level because they removed Demogorgon. I assume in the future they're going to be adding it back, which means the minimum item level might change. But for now, honestly, it doesn't hurt to run. With so many newer players coming in and running the random trial queue, it's possible you might get a failed instance. It might happen. But for the most part, honestly, like if you get Tiamat or MSVA, which is Assault on Svartborg, you should be able to complete them. The only one that may or may not be really iffy is Cradle of the Death God, because especially new players, they're not going to understand the push-pull mechanic. That's fine. So try and do random trial queue. You're going to get a daily bonus of some astral diamonds. If you're a tank or healer, enter as one, you'll get a bonus. Yeah. With that astral diamonds, you can also do dungeon and skirmish queues, which if you're a new player, like completely new, and you're working your way through these over a few days, every day just do dungeon and skirmish. Honestly, you'll get some AD and save it, because when you reach level 20, probably the best equipment you can start out with. This is not best in slot equipment. This is just best equipment available to a new player who's looking to increase their item level and unlock RTQs and rad queues, random advanced dungeon queues. Honestly, you're going to want to go to the auction house, start with the head. So in your character sheet, there's basically 3 types of categories, but the main ones that you're going to look at is your head, armor, arms, and feet. Next would be the neck, not the neck, the rings, the shirts, and the trousers. Those are the main ones you're going to want to work with for now when buying off the auction house. So starting with the head, armor, arms, and feet, starting with the head. If you're looking for cleric, for example, you can put in order, look up cleric, and these should come up. Now, these are really freaking cheap, but they're 1600 item level. That's going to help you out a lot when gearing up. You can look up fighter, for example, and again, that's only 4k, so that is even less than, you know. So for the most part, just look them up. So head, you got your armor, your arms, and your feet. Honestly, probably the best investment you can make early on, because that's really just going to toss you up in item level, which is why I said don't bother with Elemental Evil or Undermountain, because it does give you gear, but with how high the item levels are now, honestly, it kind of made the point of these a little bit redundant, if that's the right word. Take it or leave it. Next, shirt and pants. Honestly, you can just hit search, put in the epic quality, and you're going to get these Dragon Cult shirts. These are dirty, dirty cheap. If you're a healer, you're going to want, try and find one with outgoing healing, because that's useful. And if you are a DPS, you're going to want one with plus combat advantage. So like, for example, this torn shirt of the Dragon Cult, if you look at the equip, plus 5 combat advantage. So depending what you do, if you're a tank, I don't really know if there's anything that good for tank. Probably just go with combat advantage for tank. But yeah, so that's the shirt. The pants, just get any pants, but again, it's the same thing. Looking for Dragon Cult, dirty, stinking cheap, decent item level. These will do it for you. Rings, it's kind of the same thing. Put in epic, look up rings, and you're going to get a bunch of these Dragon Cultist rings. Now, some of these, they have like 1000 item level, like overwhelmed and whatnot, but you're going to look for the corroded ones. Now, if you're a tank, this will be a little bit different, because there is one ring in particular that you can probably just buy at Legendary, and that is not this one. You can get this one as a tank. It's not bad, but it's not the one I was thinking of. Overwhelmed. Condemned. Ring of the Condemned. It's a little bit more expensive, but honestly, as a low level or a low item level tank, this is going to take you far, because this basically, as long as you keep running, you can have perfect threat. And as a newer tank, that's typically difficult to do. So tanks, good investment. Otherwise, everyone else, healers, DPS, just try and get some of these dragon cultist rings. You could even just type in dragon so that only these ones come up. They're pretty cheap. You can try and work your stats to work, what's best for you, but you probably don't understand stats at this point. Which, this is fine. That's fine. I'm going to explain stats a little bit in a second, because it kind of looks like looking at a math sheet. I get why people get confused. So start with your adventures, and then once you've done your adventures and whatnot, then you can start working on your campaigns. We have some... These are the legacy ones, but start with legacy ones, then eventually maybe move into these. Path of the Fallen... Is it Path of the Fallen? No. Yes. Yes. Path of the Fallen is probably one of the better ones to start early on, because you don't have to complete the campaign, but you can just unlock the zone, get your car, you'll see your infernal machine, whatever it's called. And with that, using guides online, if you do a little bit of Googling and researching, it'll come up no problem. You can farm mains, mains drop maps, and with maps, you can get some pretty okay weapons. I'm not saying these are the best out there. You can also get the dragon weapons. I don't know if they're on the auction house. We have ancient stuff. We don't want ancient. Grand Alliance. No, that's not what we're looking for. Yeah, I don't know if you can get the weapons. No, you can get the weapons, but they're more expensive. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, you're better off farming the weapons over time, if that's what you want to do with your seals. Yeah, Grand Alliance weapons. These are more expensive. They do have a bonus power, but honestly, like, the Legion weapons are fine to start out with as well, but I wouldn't upgrade them past Epic. Definitely, by doing your random trial queues, you'll automatically get the Seals of the North. And these can be spent at the Seven Suns Coast Market. In here, you actually see the little seal vendor NPC here, 70.70. And yeah, you can get the weapons there once you've accumulated enough Seals of the North, or whatever is the current seal when you're watching this. The seals change every module, so right now it's Seal of the North. Next module could be something else. Depends when you're watching this, but for now, the time this is coming up, Seals of the North, and then you can buy the Grand Alliance weapons from there. Best thing to do. Get the gear for cheap off the auction house, but use the seals for the weapons. But until then, you can just farm the Legion weapons if you want, or on the auction house you can find plenty of other weapons that will have decent enough item level. Just customize your search to whatever, and something should come up. Not Blackenjaw. So much of the Blackenjaw. Cobalt. Probably these, yeah. So like Cobalt, there's no bonus to them, but they give decent enough item level that you can at least start to get into content and have an easier time farming different things. So take it as you will. That's that. So turning into more of a guide of building item level. Whatever. Another tip I would actually have, this guy already has some insignias, doesn't have a lot of collars here, it's okay. But to farm insignias, honestly, I would take whatever gold you have. Oh, I have server not responding. I'm probably gonna get disconnected. Hold on. I can't move. Well, anyways, with the gold that you accumulate and have, I would try and get different utility kits. So this is your thief kits, your thievery kits, your nature kits, dungeoneering kits, all of those. And just have some on you as you run around and play the game. Oh boy, we are lagging hard today, and I don't understand why. I'm glad I'm not streaming. Okay, well, apparently we are not getting anywhere. That is Are we gonna get somewhere this time? No. Okay. We're just gonna settle to stand here at this point. I was saying the goal, get those kits, and then as you go around doing adventure zones, dungeons, skirmishes, whatever you're running, you can use those kits to open up different kits, essentially. You use the utility kits to open up the utility stuff that you find around different maps, right? And in those, there's always a chance that they will have an insignia, sometimes two. Start off with the green ones, equip whatever you get, and eventually you should get enough blue ones that you'll have all blue insignias to start with. Then you can sell off your green ones and slowly work up that way. It's not bad, and I've definitely done this myself. And by the time, if you're starting this as a level 1 player, and you start off by doing that, honestly, by the time you reach level 20, from my experience, you will have pretty much all the blue insignias you could want or need. So honestly, really, really good pro tip there. I swear it. I swear. Now, oh, I am still lagging, aren't I? Darn internet. Cool. Anyways, I was coming down here, but I already explained it, so there's no point in that. Let's see, we can look at our character sheet. Collars, collars, collars. Collars were down in price recently, but I feel like they've gone back up in price. A little bit. They're not as expensive as they used to be, but they're still kind of expensive. Now, let's see. Rare ones are cheaper, so you could start with rare ones and then upgrade to purple ones, and that will probably save you astral diamonds from the get-go. There's not too many listed on the auction house right now, though, so depending what the prices are, go either epic or rare quality. Epic could be better if you can afford it. If not, no worries. Best way to afford this, honestly, is cap your AD. So in your inventory, under currencies, you have your astral diamonds and your rough astral diamonds. You can get 100,000 rough astral diamonds every day. Now, probably if you're a new player and you don't have random advanced dungeon queue open, you don't have friends to even run you through it or anything like that, probably the best place to start would be under your campaigns and Descent into Avernus. When you unlock Avernus, you can start doing what are called bell runs, and the boxes that you get from the, how do you say? They're called Infernal Secrets. It's a currency that you get from defeating Bell, so you do insurgencies, do Bell, and honestly, even just one Bell run a day will get you pretty close, if not sometimes over, capping your rough AD income. And then maybe just do a random dungeon, not an advanced dungeon, just a random dungeon, a random skirmish, random trial queue, whichever, and you should be able to cap at 100,000 a day without spending too much time on it. So 100,000 every day, that's 700,000 in a week. When you look at this, I mean, you're spending all your AD on this in a month. Yeah, you would get them. Actually, would it take a month? No, it wouldn't take a month. It would take a couple weeks, which isn't bad. This is a bit of a slow grind game, so don't expect to just get to the top super quickly. Note, though, when you're in dungeons, you open the chests, trials, skirmishes, dungeons, you open the chest, and you are likely to get different things that you can either use or sell. So don't think that because you're putting all your rough AD into collars or whatever from the get-go, you're not going to have other chances to earn other stuff. If you're really lucky, sometimes you can. If you have VIP, you'll get stuff from lockboxes. Don't be afraid to put your AD on this. Also, check out what collars are best for your class or your role, DPS, healer, tank, whichever. because you can only have, for example, one type of unified, one type of supportive, one type of sturdy, practical, wayfaring. You can only have one of each, and different ones give different bonuses. So make sure to keep an eye on that and get the ones that just, they better suit you. You know, so we have a supportive regal here, but do we have another supportive on this site? So it gives outgoing healing, but if we look up another supportive, they're not another supportive crescent color, you get stamina instead. That's what I mean. So be wise with your colors, is what I'm saying. So yeah, that'll take a couple weeks. So that takes care of gear, collars. Companion gear, honestly, you'll kind of get as you go through. I wouldn't really worry too much about it. You can buy cheap companion gear off of here, but in my opinion, it's just not worth it. Just do your campaigns and whatnot, and you should get companion gear as you go, I believe. So yeah, actually, if you're a returning player and you have the Glory to Neverwinter pack or whatever, there should be, yeah, there's better companion gear here available for you to use. If you're a new player, you will get some as you go. If you're not. So that's that. And oh yeah, if you're a new player, try and fill out your stables as much as you can. So you want to have at least 5 mounts. If you're going to be getting epic collars, you're also going to need epic mounts, because if you put an epic collar on, say, a green mount, the collar can't be of higher quality than the mount. It has to be equal or less, or higher, or less. Yeah, equal or less, not higher. So, for example, we go to mounts here and you click mounts. Honestly, if you just put in epic, these really cheap Siegebreaker Griffins come up, so I would get one of those. And just see what other really cheap epic mounts there are. There's none as cheap as the Siegebreaker Griffin, but there are these flail snails, and we have the Gond, which Gond actually has a really good bonus. The apparatus of Gond, so that is a worthwhile investment. And honestly, if you wanted, you could get a couple rare mounts. These are much cheaper, much more affordable, and you could just get rare collars and even just have 2 rare mounts and put them on and you'd be just as fine. If we want to actually understand a little bit of what you're doing, you want to balance your stats. Green means you're pretty much at a point of your rating where it's balanced. So your ratings, they cannot go higher than your item level. And these will contribute to 50% of your rating. Honestly, this is really confusing. I get confused myself too. But basically, this number under rating should not go higher than your item level. If it turns red, it's too high. If it's green, it's just right. Your percentages can go up to 90% max though. And there are things, particularly with companions, for example, where you'll see here 1.5% critical chance, 1.5% combat advantage. This is 3% power. So you can get straight up percentages, which is really nice. Even the shirt I was mentioning earlier that has plus 5% combat advantage, that won't count towards the number, but rather the percentage itself. So these, essentially as a DPS, you'd want to have these at 90%. If you were a tank, you'd want to have defensive stats. If you were a healer, you'd probably want to up your outgoing healing, power, and maybe critical strike, maybe critical severity. I don't know, maybe some healers do that. I don't, and I find I heal fine, but that's just me. I'm a cheap player. So it takes a while to get used to these, and I don't feel like there's any easy way to explain it, but if I were to explain it in the easiest way possible, that is what I would tell you. The companion system, you have a bolster, so it takes the top 10 highest quality companions that you have. So these are sorted in order. You can change the order of which they're sorted by, but you don't have to. It's better by quality. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the first bottom 10, or even if you, oh no, you can't choose the ascension order. Okay. I take that back. Yeah, so the first 10 contribute to your bolster, and eventually the goal is to have 10 mythic companions, and each mythic companion contributes 10% bolster, each legendary mount contributes 5% bolster, and so forth. The lower the quality, the less bolster you're getting from, but it only counts for the top 10 you have, not how many you have, just the top 10. It is the same idea with mounts. You have 100% bolster, mythic gives 10%, legendary 5%, and so forth. So the end goal is to have 10 mythic companions, 10 mythic mounts, preferably a mount with your desired power, your desired stat, maybe desired appearance too. Some people don't care. I like appearances, but that's just me. And yeah, other things like boons, powers, that's really gonna come down to build specific, so I'm not gonna go over those. But aside from that, I would say those are the starters. You know, so to recap, leveling adventures, complete those. Do all the other adventures except Undermountain Elemental Evil. Just do those little by little or at a later time. I don't find they're that important, personally. Then you can move on to legacy campaigns, maybe start some of the more current, quote-unquote, endgame campaigns. If you feel up to it and you're strong enough for it, you could start those. Invest your AD wisely. Again, neck belts, artifact sets, and even artifacts in general. That's just going to come down to your class and your build, so definitely look up a guide. It's going to be different for whatever you play, whatever you want to play. So I can't really tell you that. Enchantments. Did I talk about enchantments? So we have some enchantment choice packs here. So we have a companion enhancement. We have a combat enchantment, and this will depend on your class as well. This will also depend on your build. Enchantment rank 2 choice packs. So if you got the booster pack, then you will have 5 enchantments to start with. Plus, not to mention, you get 1, 2, I think you get 2. Yeah, you get 2 more rank 1 enchantments here. So you will get some from here, but yeah, generally each enchantment's about 100k each. So again, that's going to be a grind, but if you're capping out every day doing bell, surgencies, and your random queues, you'll be able to get 1 a day. So it shouldn't take you as long as you think to max up on, like, fill up these slots. Start with the rank 1s. My best advice out there. Talked about insignias, collars. Yeah, I think that mostly covers everything. Those would be my new player tips. Another thing, find a guild. There are always guilds recruiting. We can see here there's also international guilds. So German, Polish, English, lots of guilds recruiting. So if you just hang out in Protectors Enclave, or even if you go to Protectors Enclave and you type in zone chat, say, hey, I'm new, I'm looking for friendly, helpful guilds that, you know, can help answer my questions or help me with content or whatever it is you're looking for, someone's going to pick you up. It's not if, maybe, someone will pick you up. You'll probably have multiple people wanting to pick you up. So, yeah, you can just watch zone chat, or you can just toss out there in zone chat, hey, I'm looking for a guild. Someone will get you. And yeah, I don't think I have anything else to add. I think that covers everything, at least for new players and, you know, gearing up, getting started. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Thank you, Aragon, for not giving me permission to use your account, but I did anyways. Yeah. Thanks, and have a good one, I guess. Don't forget to subscribe. And, yep. Ciao!